Well, I mean, I'll tell you why overwhelmingly women don't initiate, and it's because they frankly don't have to. Because there will always be a guy that's willing to handle the entire burden of initiation. So, I mean, has it been your experience that even after you've gone on 1, 2, 3 dates, you're still having to continue initiating? Whether that be, hey, let's hang out, you're planning things, maybe it's even initiating intimacy. You're always the one that has to sort of be the one to make the first move.
I think because there was a girl I was seeing, and after the third date, she was the one texting me about hanging out and stuff. And I think, especially now in my personal experience with life with being an athlete and just everything else with culture, that initiating stuff sexually is for guys, I feel like that's a no-go. I don't initiate anything.
Wait.
Just in this, the culture of just not almost, I don't want to say rape culture, but sexual assault is such a huge thing when it comes to athletes in general. The big thing just happened where San Diego State, he's a kicker in the NFL now. It just came out that him and his teammates brutally raped a girl.
Jesus,
and it was and then that's what everyone's image of football players or athletes are. I've heard that so much, and it's bro, I'm literally just playing this sport.
I mean, I don't get that impression from athletes. I don't think we should paint with a broad brush that athletes are predators. Not at all. But
yeah,
is there
I don't see that just from my teammates and stuff. I don't see that. There are a couple of dudes I played with, and I'm bro, you need to calm down. But from the outside view, let's say if I go to Isla Vista, or if I go to, or even just on social media, I saw a TikTok, and it's POV, you talk to a guy from the so-and-so school who plays on the team, and it's just shitting on that person. Sorry, I got a gap. I whistle my fucking talk, my bad. But it's shitting on that person. It's kind of giving a standard of what all guys are who play that sport. And I looked at the comments, and it's bro, I can't, literally, people's careers have been ruined because of stuff like that. There was a really big-time football player who was about to go to the NFL, and a case came out against him, and he lost everything. And then 2 years later, it was...
Brian Banks? Is that who you're talking about?
There is Brian Banks, but his name's Sean Oakman.
Okay.
Really lost everything. And 2 years later, the girl came up and said she just made it all up because they were he had basically dumped things with her.
So, okay, really quick. So is there have you received official communication from your team about this sort of stuff, or is this just your own thinking?
No.
Okay.
Just
so I want to move. I just want to move on from that.
Okay.
But
all right.
but it is interesting that you're so. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're so terrified to initiate because you think that there's a slight off chance that it could be taken in the wrong way, or what? What's going on there?
Because you never know. To be honest, if I'm getting to know someone that I really like, I hope we get to a point where I trust that person. I know we'll get to that point where I trust that person to not claim allegations like that, or to turn things when, let's say, you're more successful, or when you're not with them. Let's say you guys break up, and then they go about telling other people you did things that you did not do. And I think it's just looking through social media and how everything's portrayed nowadays. I think, me personally, and a handful of my friends too, feel that same way. I don't like initiating things with girls. When it comes to kissing or whatever, it's something I just don't I don't know what I have to. Obviously, consent's a great thing, but I just feel even asking, I feel oh my god, she's gonna be no, is she gonna be scared? You know what I'm saying? It's not. So that's my biggest pet peeve with that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't think you're not wrong, and I've definitely heard a lot of men echo those concerns of, I want to make sure that I'm not being too pushy, but I think, but it almost seems to be.
Dude, they are on my head in the chat. God damn.
It's so. But do you think that it's stifling you from going for the first kiss, for example? Do you feel that these concerns of yours are stifling you from initiating? Because you said you don't like to initiate, and I guess my take on that would be is you're probably losing a lot of chicks if you're not initiating.
It's not. Let me rephrase that. It's not that I don't like initiating. I just don't feel comfortable nowadays. I think that's the big thing.
2022. Okay.
I don't feel comfortable initiating. Like, of course, everybody, I would love to kiss a chick. If I really like this chick and we're on a date or whatever, and it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But, I feel like in today's culture, it's like you're uncomfortable or, almost scared to, a little bit. So that's just my view.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard this fear from a lot of men. And I think that's why there's a lot of hesitation amongst men to go for the move and make the first move or whatever. That's certainly a concern. I know we've sort of talked about this a little before. I mean, I guess we can kind of go into that a little bit. I guess my question to the panel is, do you want the guy to go for the kiss? You want the guy to initiate?
I would say yes, definitely. I mean, it depends though. If I like the guy enough and I have a couple drinks in me, I think I would probably initiate it. It depends, I guess.
Sure.
Yes. Well, I probably went from A to B. Yeah.
What do you mean?
It was like a super serious, in-depth conversation that I feel like the woman probably had some opinions on, and then we're like, no, let's just ask this much nice, democratic, or not, what is it? Sort of, no, used it last time. Whatever. More PC question. Diplomatic. Thank you.
Is the word. Well, I mean, you're welcome to, if you want to respond to what he said, I'll open it up to the table.
I mean, I would just say me specifically, the anxiety for it can be valid, but also don't rape women. And normally you're pretty okay, you know what I mean? There's definitely the crazy women out there where you break their heart and they can make that accusation, but I feel like if you're an upstanding person and you've proven to be an upstanding person, you have past relationships you can rely on where these people can be like the whole Johnny Depp case. All of his past relationships were no, he was never violent. There's also character building that you can do, whereas if you have this anxiety, what are you doing to have this anxiety? Because
in the Johnny Depp case, why all of a sudden when that came out about, what was her name, Amber Heard, he lost everything too. If his record already showed that he was in good standings in relationships, why that one instinct? Why did that? Literally, his whole past doesn't mean anything at that point. If he's already shown a track record of having a good relationships in the past, why does that one instinct of Amber Heard basically debunk everything that, you just said, with
it had to go to court, and that's with big names and fame because money was involved and because fame was involved, but also you are 20 in a team in football. I don't think anyone's after your pension or you know what I mean? This anxiety you have right now doesn't seem very based.
I'm saying that it's not always just where you're at right now, because a lot of these cases that comes out, I'm not Harvey Weinstein, fucking weirdo, Bill Cosby, fucking weirdo. But you notice a lot of those things came out years after their success.
Right.
So, and I understand there's a lot of instances of people just can't speak out because they're fear for their life, their positions in life. But why wait after Sean Oakman? He was in college. He's already a Division I athlete.
Brian Banks.
Yeah, they're already at the high pinnacle. But then you wait till right when he's about to make that big money or make that big jump into that very successful that she comes out and says that, and it's not even true. So that's my biggest pet peeve with that,
Okay. I mean, I guess when you're talking about just you're scared to initiate with women, that seems silly to me. Right now, nothing should be holding you back, and it's if you go in to kiss a girl, if you go in to ask a girl out and she rejects you, don't rape her, and she's probably not going to accuse you of rape. Despite
that's true, but at the same time, me being not scared or uncomfortable with initiating, obviously I'm not the highest. I don't make millions of dollars a year, but still I could lose school, I could lose football, I could lose everything too at the same time. No matter where you are in life, you still have a lot to lose as a man.
I mean, any argument that goes down to a he said, she said, where it has to come into legal recognition or the school disciplinary kind of thing, there is a chance for both parties to speak, I think.
Well, actually, the Biden administration just rolled back. What's the term? They rolled back due process in universities. So now men who are allegations, there's really no longer any due process in the university system. And the fact of the matter is, most of these accusations are pointed towards men. Certainly, there's men that are monsters that are committing these crimes, but there are also men that are falsely accused. So it's men in universities are in an especially difficult position.
Go for it.
I mean, the due process kind of works in their favor at some point because, like, literally, we have someone working at UCSB who got not just accused but like actually convicted of having child porn on their computer, and he still is employed by UCSB. So that whole due process kind of works both ways.
He was convicted in a criminal court.
Yes, and he's still employed like to this day by UCSB.
How does that work? Like,
huh?
How does that work?
Okay,
I have no idea.
Guys, I need to take control of the conversation here. We're not going to talk about CP on the show. Okay, we're just not going to talk about that. So, sorry, but let's try to keep it about. Try to keep it a little bit light here, okay, guys. I don't want to get fucking blocked from YouTube. So